With an absolutely star-studded cast, some seriously catchy songs, and hilarious characters, Teen Titans Go to the Movies is a totally crazy ride. But what makes this movie even more spectacular are the countless callbacks, references, and hidden gems concealed within it. Some are obvious, and some you'll have to go back and pause to find, but either way, they are totally worth paying attention to. We hope you have fun watching, and make sure to hit that red subscribe button and ring that bell in order to stay up to date with all the coolest new content from ScreenRant.
It's time to clean up this city.
That actually does look pretty good.
With the old school WB logo and a classic rendering of Daffy Duck doing his thing before Porky gets a hold of him, and then a reimagined Teen Titans style DC logo, right before poking fun at the page-flipping Marvel logo with the classic Teen Titans comics in place of what we're used to, being read by a seagull. Right as the movie starts, we're introduced to Jump City, the world inhabited by the Teen Titans. In this sequence, we get a whole bunch of awesome callbacks to the TTG series. The slogan "Safer Than Gotham" is also there, which seems a little strange considering the businesses all seem to be owned by the most famous villains, like a Body by Bane gym and a Mr. Freeze Pop's popsicle stand, among others. The villains aren't the only ones who seem to be opening businesses around Jump City, though. Firstly, a Green Lantern symbol rests in the O of the hotel above a store called Vibe Records. The Flash seems to own a restaurant called Fastest Food. There are Wayne Enterprises skyscrapers, LexCorp signs, and finally, Lord Technologies, owned by Justice League International founder Maxwell Lord.
You didn't save anything.
We saved room for design!
The background is just jam-packed with awesome puns and throwbacks to the Titans show. There's a bakery called Sinestrals and Buns, a fast food joint known as Endless Fries, Darkseid makes an appearance on the sign for a salon called Apocalypse and Lashes, and another bustling business called the Roar Shack, which, if owned by Rorschach himself, doesn't actually sound all that fun.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K.
Something you might only notice if you're really paying attention is that Superman is voiced by none other than the incomparable Nicolas Cage. While this out-of-control actor might seem like an odd choice for the hero, he is notoriously a huge fan of all comic books and specifically the character of Superman. There was a time when he was actually going to play the live-action superhero in a Tim Burton-directed film, but sadly that never came to be.
Our movie's not about Wonder Woman, it's about us, the Teen Titans.
No one wants to see us, fool.
When the Teen Titans find out they aren't invited to the premiere of the latest Batman movie, they use Raven's powers to sneak in and transport the Challengers of the Unknown into a mysterious dimension. We get reintroduced to who exactly the Challengers of the Unknown are. They were very popular comic characters from back in the day, and are rumored to have inspired the Fantastic Four over at Marvel.
I'm Batman. Batman returns. Batman forever!
Once the new Batman movie, cheekily titled Batman Again, is underway, we're in for more awesome surprises with the trailers. Unfortunately for Robin, even Alfred the Butler, the Batmobile, and the Utility Belt are getting their own movies before he does. It's actually a hilarious commentary by the writers about how DC refuses to stop making Batman movies. Based on the sheer volume of upcoming Joker remakes in the works, they're not far off.
Having a movie is the only way to be seen as a real hero.
What about an arch nemesis?
Every poster on the wall is an intentionally awesome and sometimes pretty bold dig at the DC universe. From a poster for an upcoming Joker movie called Yawn of Justice, a Gotham Sirens musical poster, and a Green Lantern Corps movie about an apple.
There was a Green Lantern movie, but we don't talk about that.
The volume of actual DC comic characters in attendance at the premiere is staggering. All of the Justice League are there, of course. Supergirl is also in the crowd, along with Red Tornado, Elongated Man, Black Canary, Blue Beetle, and Booster Gold, among many others. Getting even more obscure, there are even appearances by Swamp Thing, Crypto the Superdog, and the amazing Detective Chimp in the crowd.
You stole that from RoboCop.
RoboCop, just stand down. You're embarrassing me, look!
We've always known that Slade Wilson is a not-so-subtle reference to Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool. But Teen Titans Go to the Movies actually has a different take on the whole thing. When the Teen Titans mistake him for Deadpool, Slade says that he's been around for way longer, and he's right. Deadpool, who first appeared in New Mutants number 98, was actually ripped off from Slade, who made his comic book entrance first, over 10 years before in New Teen Titans number 2.
Now don't you move. My hands aren't as steady as they used to be.
Teen Titans aren't afraid to break the fourth wall. and the way they do it in this next example is too good to be true. As they stand in the Warner Brothers parking lot, we see a familiar-looking older man in the background. It's then revealed that the man is actually Stan Lee, making a classic and not-so-subtle cameo.
Stop! Please, stop!
Why did you say that name?
One of the most mocked moments in recent DC history, aside from most of Suicide Squad, is the famous Martha moment from Batman v Superman. During a scene in which Jade Wilson is directing a fight between Batman and Superman, Batman asks Superman what his mother's name is. Superman of course says Martha, and the fight quickly dissolves into a big hug before starting up again seconds later. The references to Back to the Future and Teen Titans Go to the Movies aren't exactly subtle, but for those who are perhaps too young to have seen the famous franchise, they might just be a surprise. They not only use the exact same dramatic score and the extremely famous Huey Lewis song Back in Time, but Raven also makes an amazing reference to buying plutonium from Libyan terrorists. While there isn't a DeLorean in sight, these Back to the Future homages are a total treat for any fans of Marty McFly. No DC Comics movie is safe from a little Teen Titans Go mocking, even the ones that are generally considered good. When they head back to the past, the Teen Titans make their first stop on Krypton, which looks exactly the same as it does in Superman the movie, where they manage to save the planet through dubstep. An awesome scene comes a little later when Beast Boy and Cyborg prank call Superman and pretend to be Lois Lane, in need of saving from one of Gene Hackman's evil real estate plots.
The story of Batman's greatest ally.
That's me. That must be me.
And best friend in the whole world.
There are so many callbacks to the entire history of the Batman movies, it's almost hard to keep track. In the climax of the movie, as a hypnotized Batman chases the Teen Titans, those in the know will be able to spot Danny Elfman's Batman theme. On top of that, the TTG Batmobile itself is a reference to the famous Tumbler from the Dark Knight trilogy, as it flips from scooter and back to Batmobile. And even the Bat skates from Batman and Robin make an appearance.
You need an upbeat, inspirational song about life.
While there are many over-the-top musical numbers to choose from in Teen Titans Go to the Movies, one in particular really stands out, and that is the inspirational song about life. Not only are the visuals eye-popping, but there's also a white tiger playing a Keytar who's actually voiced by Michael Bolton. The animation even changes to a much more pastel, childlike style similar to that of the Care Bears. The makers of this movie are clearly well-versed in cartoon history, and this sequence shows that off.
Waffle Man! I'm the waffler, golden crispy, bad guys are history.
While there are definitely some pretty intimidating DC villains like the Joker and Bane to name a couple, it can't be ignored that there are some totally ludicrous ones as well. Teen Titans Go to the Movies had their own silly villain in mind. Starfire announces that the Flash's nemesis is in fact Rainbow Raider, aka Roy G. Bigelow, whose terrifying power is the ability to ride rainbows.
Well, when I'm king, that'll be the first thing to go.
Not so long as I'm around.
Well, in that case, you're fired.
One of the best things about the Teen Titans Go universe is how unafraid they are of being completely absurd. The best example of this is Robin's dream sequence. During this dream, in which Robin's fantasy of becoming a hero rather than a sidekick plays out, we see a huge sun ride over Gotham City, and they proceed to recreate the scene from The Lion King, in which Rafiki introduces the newborn Simba to the rest of the animals from the kingdom. There are fans out there who felt a little betrayed when Teen Titans was cancelled, and felt that Teen Titans Go was an unsatisfying replacement for both Teen Titans and Young Justice that followed. TTG couldn't resist a slight joke at the expense of all of the fans who spoke out against them. When the Teen Titans give Robin a VHS of a homemade movie called Robin the Movie, we can clearly see that they taped over Young Justice to make it.
The whole world will be under my control!
The cast of the movie is totally stacked with beloved voice actors and cameos. Along with the main cast from the show, we get Kristen Bell, Will Arnett, Nicolas Cage, Lil Yachty, Jimmy Kimmel, Stan Lee, Patton Oswalt, and of course, Michael Bolton. While it's safe to say that most of the cast would return to make another movie or maybe show up in the series, the same can't be said for Bolton's Keytar playing Tiger. He met his unfortunate end being run over by the Teen Titans, who quickly flee from the scene.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru.
In every animated movie, there will be jokes for the kids, and then jokes for the parents who take their kids to the movies. Because the creators of these movies and TV shows are parental ages themselves, it seems like they take a certain kind of delight in writing a couple of jokes that their kids just won't understand. In Teen Titans Go to the Movies, when the Teen Titans first walk onto the Warner Brothers lot, Starfire points to the water tower and says, "That's where the Animaniacs live."
I can do anything, even get my own movie! Hollywood, here we come!
One of the main plots in the movie is that Robin desperately wants his own cinematic moment, to be the hero of his own movie, rather than the sidekick of so many others. He sings a song to this point, and during this sequence we get a couple of very quick and very cool blink and you'll miss them moments. While he imagines himself in the hero role, he takes on a couple of very iconic poses, recreating the comic book covers to The Dark Knight Returns, Action Comics #1, and Amazing Fantasy #15. There's one juicy reference you may have missed during the film, though this one is rather cheeky. If you know anything about DC Comics, you may know that Dick Grayson's backside has been quite the hot topic for many years now. Robin makes a reference to Grayson's posterior during My Superhero movie, when he references his booty up in 3D. There are worse things to be famous for.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me! Who's got you?
There has been so much superhero content in the last decade, and so much more to come, that it's easy to forget how these characters originated on screen. While kids may not be familiar with the original live-action Superman, the great Christopher Reeve, the creators of Teen Titans Go to the Movies certainly are. The entire movie is an homage to the magic realism, over-the-top absurdity, and playfulness of that era. Even so much so that Jor-El is actually modeled after and sounds a lot like Marlon Brando. You might be wondering, but what about Shia LaBeouf? In Teen Titans Go to the Movies, when the Teen Titans are on the set, they see who they believe to be Slade and immediately start pummeling him. It's quickly revealed that it's not the real Slade, but Shia LaBeouf, the actor who is playing the role of Slade.
His name is really fun to say dramatically.
Slade.
Slade.
Whew, well there you go. 25 amazing hidden secrets from Teen Titans Go to the Movies. What did you think of these surprises? Did you catch them all during the movie? Are there any we missed that you think we should know about? Let us know in the comments down below. And make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.